Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a free-for-all match on the map All That Glitters. I'm starting in the bottom right position, playing as the Soviets. So whenever you play a corner position on the map All That Glitters, it is a lot better than being in the middle. Being in the middle, quite frankly, is sometimes almost impossible to win by, just because you can be attacked by so many teams. You can be attacked by the corner teams, and you can be attacked by the other teams in the middle. Now, out of the corner positions, the bottom right is the worst one. That's because, as you can see, it's a bit awkward to get to the yaw, and that just plays a little bit of a role, but as I say, it is much better than me starting in the middle, so I haven't got a bad position. I've got quite a decent one, quite frankly, and by the time it becomes and it gets round to the corner teams being under threat, at that time I'll have hopefully expanded out, and it'll no longer be an issue for me getting the yaw. Now, it is a 10k ore start, so I am going to be going for double war factory straight away, and I'm going to be going for 4 ore trucks, which is quite standard on a map like this. And you can see Orange there doing a little bit of a mistake, his ore trucks all over the place, going right to the round that rim. You can see how far it's having to travel, so that's a big mistake from Orange, and he'll probably be sorting that out when that ore truck drops off its stuff. And you can see my second ore truck now getting out. And I'm going to build another small power plant, and then I'm going to be starting to build more ore refineries. Now, you do have to manage your ore trucks very carefully, otherwise, as you saw with Orange, they do go to crazy places to collect the ore. So you'll see, it's like, early on, it's very intensive the way you use your ore trucks. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make room for my next ore refinery so they can be in good positions. And that's just so important during the start. And you can see that ore truck, which I've obviously just missed there. I'll put this ore refinery down. And you can see that that's where your ore trucks actually go to if you just let them go. Because what they'll do is they'll go out the ore factory, and then they'll go to the closest ore to the ore factory, even if it is around a cliff and have to travel like forever to get there. So you can see there. That's what happened. Now what I'm doing now is I'm splitting the ore trucks between the ore refineries, because when you have too many ore trucks going to the same ore refinery, you get a bit of a problem because you all get jammed. And I've seen it in games, especially on like this map, where you can see it now. It's happening. You're having all the trucks jammed at one like ore refinery. So that can become a big problem later in the game. But now I've got 3 ore refineries out. It should be alright, and I've managed to split them a little bit. And now I'm going to be going for my 3rd war factory, which is really, really important, so I can get that increased tank building speed. And I did a bit of a misplay there without building tanks early enough. Hopefully that shouldn't be too much of an issue, and I'll be able to catch up because I'll be building more war factories. And I'm going to go straight for the 4th war factory. Now what I usually do is when I get the 4th war factory down, I will build 2 more ore trucks just to make sure the economy keeps on going. Because every time you build an extra war factory, of course, you have an increased tank building speed. And what I prefer to do is I prefer to go for that 4th war factory. What a lot of players will do is they'll focus more on the service depot. But what I like to do is I like to use that 4th war factory, get lots of tanks out and defeat the opponent closest to me. I think that really works best. I think if you get too greedy, you can get punished for that. And you can see I'm just getting my tanks to the front. Remember, I should have been building tanks a bit. I should have had a few more tanks at this stage. Because I did forget to build them right at the start. But now I've got 4 war factories producing. And you can see they're using up the ore that I've got. So I'm not going to be that far behind. Obviously, I'm not behind at all in ore production, and you can see I've only got about 3,000 left, so I should be okay to go on my first attack. And you can see we're attacking purple, and we're taking out his tanks at the other side of the base, and now we're taking out his tanks, but he hasn't got much at all, and this is going to be quite an easy kill for me. What I want to really do is get rid of the teams at the bottom of the map, and you can see he hasn't really built out too much at this point. He's got a radar dome and stuff, and you can see he hasn't got too many ore trucks. So all in all, that was quite an easy kill. And now I've got rid of the opponent closest to me. Now is going to be the time I'm going to build that service depot and start getting those multiple MCVs out. And I've also got this middle part of the map which I might be able to utilise as well. And you can see these ore trucks, obviously, yeah, they're getting rid of a lot of that ore, which is going to make it easier to place my MCVs. And I am going to be getting another war factory, because you can see how quickly that ore is stacking up. I've got like 10k ore at the moment, which is huge. So I'm going to need to hopefully get these MCVs out, get a bit of faster building speed, and just hopefully be able to focus a bit more on my economy. So there's one of the construction yards down. One of the big problems, I guess, at this stage is actually just getting the space. And you can see me trying to use the space like right at the back of my base as well. Because at the front of the base, the problem is if you have too many MCVs around there, it starts to obstruct your ore trucks. And then, obviously, your economy isn't as good or isn't as efficient if you've got like lots of buildings in the way. But, I mean, it increases your ore refinery building speed, so you can like sort of like catch up a little bit. I'm just trying to find a useful position for this construction yard, which I've probably misplaced that top construction yard a little bit. I should have placed it a little bit further down. And I'm just trying to get positions for these new ore refineries. And now I'm getting back onto the tank production, because you can see I've got 5 war factories, but I've got loads and loads of ore. So I've probably a bit misplayed in this game. Got a bit too much ore, but I guess there's worse things that could happen. I should have possibly built a few more tanks rather than focusing on so many ore trucks. But at least now my tank building speed is going to be fast, and my economy does seem to be successful. And you can see it is wearing down I am using up that ore, and you can see orange is on the attack, but that is a small army, and that's not going to provide too much hassle. Once I get my tanks in there, they might get that. Yeah, they haven't even got that ore truck down, so I'm okay for now. I just need to be careful with the power. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a radar dome down, just so I can see what's going on in the different parts of the map. And you can see this is having a bit of a problem locating it at the moment. I'm just going to actually delete those two ore refineries at the back of my base, because to be honest, I don't really want ore trucks travelling that far back anymore. I'm also going to get just a Tesla coil down, just to defend against anything that Orange decides to send. And I'm actually pretty surprised Orange is going for me, because you can see they've got 2 teams just above them. They've got Cyan to the top right of them, and they've got, I think it was blue to the top left. So I was pretty surprised they'd actually taken some stuff down. You can see they've got some rocket men coming, but they're going to be destroyed by Tesla. And what I'm looking at now is I'm looking at yellow. Yellow are in the top bottom left, and they could be a real problem, because they haven't probably been challenged that much this game. And if you leave a team just to expand and expand, it's obviously a very bad thing in this map, because they could become very, very powerful. So I'm really bringing those tanks down, and we're probably going to go on. It looks like yellow are responding. So yellow, you can see, are building rocket launchers as well. So the rocket launchers are quite good against Tesla. They do have a bit low HP though, so maybe I'm just looking. They have got a lot of those Tesla coils, and I'm thinking they might have overinvested possibly. So we'll have to wait and see how this turns out. But we're going in for the attack, and yeah, I can't see that many tanks there. So this is the first really big battle. And we'll just have to see how yellow go. So yeah, we're taking them out, and it doesn't look like yellow have much at all actually, which is quite surprising. I would have thought they'd have a lot more than they did. And now we're going on the attack, and it doesn't look like yellow are going to be able to do too much to defend. We're starting to get on their economy now, and we'll have to see what they've got back here. But they are producing a lot of heavy tanks, but they're not moving them around very much, so it doesn't look like this is going to be too much of an issue. And we're just going to push on yellow back. And the longer this goes on for, the better it looks. As you can see, the orange has been wiped out. They were just above us by Cyan. And we've got Cyan and blue there. Either one of them could be a big problem later on. So we'll have to see how this goes so far. But we need to focus on yellow and getting rid of them as quickly as possible. And you can see my tag numbers are pretty good at the moment. I'm not struggling. I'm just having a look at blue and Cyan. I'm a bit more concerned about them at the moment. And that's why I'm just building a few more Tesla coils. And you can see my old trucks are getting pretty close in the north to Cyan's base. And if they get too close to Cyan, of course, Cyan's going to start destroying them. So I do have to be really, really careful of that. And you can see yellow are no match. And they're going to go down. Yeah, they've sold everything. And I don't know if that radar dome's the last building they've got. And I don't know why they have missile launchers right in the back of the base. It's like they've been like building stuff from the war factories and haven't been bringing stuff to the front. And you can... Yeah, those missile launchers do a bit of damage, so I just want to get rid of them first. And then we'll try and find the last building. But we can see that Cyan and blue in the north are battling with each other. And that's very good for us at the moment because we don't want either one of them attacking us. And I think yellow should have a building somewhere. I think it was on destroy structures. I'll have to double check that, but we'll have to see. And what I'm going to be starting to do now is I'm going to be starting to bring construction yards to this position on the map. And just expanding. The more you can expand, the better it is for you. And it might be destroy all. And now you can see a bit of a problem here. I've got blue attacking my ore trucks because as the ore starts to run out near your base, your ore trucks travel a bit further and then they start to collide with other bases. And that's a problem I'm getting now. And we can see we're going for the attack on blue. But what we need to remember is that blue have been fighting Cyan, so they might have been weakened a bit. And yeah, it was probably a mistake for blue to be attacking my ore trucks because obviously the other player is going to respond. And you can see my construction yards being brought to that new position. Just so I can utilise ore from different parts of the map. And I sort of have bases. And that's what you want, bases at different places. And that's what you want to do. And you can see Cyan. Looks like they're attacking the other side of blue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my tanks back for the minute. And I'm just going to let them fight it out. Because I don't want to get too involved at this stage. I'm also looking at green that have been sort of... I mean, they've been just out of the game a bit. And you can see it looks like Cyan and blue have really hit it off with each other. I just have to be careful that green don't have too much at the end. So I might want to finish this battle as quickly as possible. And I've also built another 3 war factories, just so because you can see I was really stacking up that ore. And and you can see I've got a real good number of tanks at the moment. And now we're taking out blue. And what I'll do is I'll split my force. You'll hardly ever see me do this, like split my force between 2 opponents. But I've just got so many tanks at this point, it's going to be okay to do that. And now we're going to go against Cyan. It doesn't look like Cyan have got much at the moment, much to defend with. They might have some Tesla coils, but the tanks are pretty much used up. And you can just see them falling really, really quickly. And you can see, while this is going on, I'm just expanding more and more, getting more of that ore, getting more funds in, and building more tanks. And you can see I'm getting, like, this is sort of like a bad position for me, this, like, narrow funnel. But I've just got so many tanks I can afford to lose some. Yeah, and you can just see how bad the tracking is. And what I need to try and do is, I might bring some round the other way. Yeah, probably not the most efficient way. What I probably should have done is I should have gone to the right and then attacked from that position. But I've invested so much in going through the middle, I should be able to do that now. But you can see we're bringing some tanks round from the right.
Construction complete.
And what I have to be careful of is I think I've got enough ore to last me the whole game. Just need to be careful of that. Because you can see that green are sort of like trapped in that top left corner. and they haven't really expanded out too much, so I don't think the access to ore will be all that great. And you can just see I've got absolutely massive stacks of ore. I think I stopped building tanks for a little bit there, and you can see us really taking out part of Cyan's base, the inner base at the moment. And now I'm going to be able to push through the middle now with he's focused on that point. And you can see those Tesla coils on the cliffs are just so annoying because they're just a little bit harder to get at. It's not like your tanks can surround them. They have to fire from the bottom, and it means that less tanks can fire at a time, so they're harder to destroy. So it's a good tactic if you want for defense that, putting Tesla coils on those cliffs. It makes it, as I say, it makes it just a little bit more tricky for your opponents.
Unit ready.
But you can see that Cyan is really struggling at the moment. We are pushing them back, and we're getting rid of the tanks, we're getting rid of the war factories, buildings, ore refineries, ore trucks. Just everything's going to be going, and there's going to be no way that Cyan are going to be able to pull back from this. And what it's going to depend on next is it's going to depend on green. I think we've actually fought with every team in this game at some point, because we fought with blue. There might have been one team that got knocked out without us fighting, but yeah, we certainly had a fight with orange, purple. But now it seems that I think Cyan's time is almost up. And you can just see this. It's an absolute slaughter at the moment. There's just no way that as soon as Cyan builds anything, they're getting taken out. And you can see now we're going to the inside of his base. You can see he's got obviously some construction yards in there, some war factories in there. That service depot, which we would have needed to build quite early on. And I think these are probably his last two war factories. And I think it is well and truly good game. I don't know if he's even got any construction yards left now. Quite possibly not. And you can see I've got like absolute ton of ore, but you can see the ore around my base is sort of running out. I've sort of like taken the whole map at the moment. Right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to push out to the left, and we're going to see what green's got. And you can see their army's just been waiting there for this fight. But I think it's quite obvious I've got the superior tank numbers, and that's what happens when you have about 8 war factories producing and you've got most of the map to take off from. Your army just escalates very, very quickly, and I think it's going to be an absolute slaughter. It doesn't look like green is going to have any answer to this at all. He's got some rocket launchers there, he's got some heavy tanks there, but the numbers are just not good enough, and we're going to be able to take him out unless he's got some hidden right at the back, but I doubt it. And you can see it just hasn't expanded enough. What you need to do really is just expand as much as possible, and you can see what the benefits are of taking opponents close to you out early. It just means you can expand to those extra ore patches and just keep on going and going, and that's, I think, like, expansion on all that glitters is the main thing you need to do. Just getting those ore truck numbers up, getting that map control so you control the ore, getting the war factories out, and just getting and you can see how big the tank numbers are. You wouldn't think that green was the one that was sitting back, but if he's like on, I don't know, 3 or 4 war factories, he's just not going to be getting the numbers at all. And you can see I'm just lagging a bit now because of the number of tanks on map, and that's green's tapped out. That is good game. So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.